right, let's talk about what needs to get fixed in the Madden 24 beta. Now, this is going to be from a gameplay point of view. If you don't know who I am, I've played competitive Madden for years now, and all my focus is on gameplay for the most part, right? Now, there's going to be some franchise bugs. I know there's some weird issues like player models inside like editing screens. I kind of throw those literally into the bucket of obvious bugs that come with a beta that will probably get fixed, right? A lot of like small issues like that, there's just a high chance they get fixed. Beta's gonna have a lot of small bugs. But all right, man, really quick, in honor of the beta dropping and all the news around Madden 24, we're doing our biggest sale of the year for yearly memberships on Civil.gg. Code BETA gets you $40 off an entire year's worth. Now, for context, that means you're going to get access to everything in Madden 23 to hold you over through the summer, and you're going to get until this time next year, which means all the Madden 24 content. Madden 22, we set the overwhelming meta with Gun Bunch Head End. Madden 23, we had Gun Tight and Dollar on the site day one, and then we also had like 10 other ebooks that are all used at a pro level. You get all the benefits of being a Civil GG member. This is the cheapest it's going to be. It equals out to like less than $7 a month if you use this. This sale ends June 16th, so don't miss out. Top of the description is the link. It's going to be code BETA again, boys. All right, an entire year. Go check it out right now, and let's get back to the video. So about actual gameplay issues that I'm seeing that I don't know, that I don't necessarily contribute to it being a beta, that I would like to see change before the game comes out. And the very first one is actually a visual glitch that's pretty annoying. It kind of throws you off, and it's at the passing reticle. If you can picture yourself throwing the ball, right, it shows that little orange circle underneath where the ball is going, and then you catch it or you drop it and the ball just drops, right? Right now, there's an issue where it's a visual bug where if I catch that ball, that reticle stays on the field for like an extra second, and if I drop the ball, it's kind of the same deal where it's throwing myself and some other guys who play the game at a pretty high level. It's thrown for like a loop mentally of, did I just catch the ball or did I not just catch the ball? It's just a little visual bug, and it's just slightly annoying. The next thing though is a little bit bigger, and that's honestly the sidelines feel really unforgiving right now at Freeform. So the past year, I was really high on Freeform, and I really do love Freeform. I passed with near 2020 placement and accuracy, okay? Right now in the beta, I'm rocking around the 7 out of 20 marker, near placement and accuracy. And a lot of corner routes that I felt really confident about throwing last year and being able to fit right on the sidelines. Really, I've been struggling. I've been pushing them way too far, or I'm like not pushing them far enough. It's just been a big change, and it feels like the sidelines are really, really, really unforgiving. And it could just be, there's a chance that this is just like a new, like it's just, passing a little bit different. Got to get used to it. It's always, and sometimes that is the thing. I would always like to see the sidelines be more forgiving, though. I'd rather, if it's going to be non-forgiving or forgiving, right, you can only pick one of the two extremes. I'd like to see the sidelines be a little bit more forgiving than they are right now. Maybe a little bit better toe drag animations. Maybe I just feel like I'm pushing the ball further in situations where I couldn't push the ball to the sidelines last year, and I just would like to see it go a little bit closer last year. Again, could just be a skill issue on that as well. I'm not necessarily opposed to that one at all. There's a few little bugs in the game with like plays not correctly working. I've sent a lot of these to the dev team, and I believe these to be just little beta issues. So if you see a play in the beta, if you're someone who's playing the beta, and you see a play that like just doesn't work, post that. And there's like feedback sections on EA. Like when you got the beta code, you'll see it on like the main screen, and then you can like look them up. You'll find the beta review sections, and you can like put that stuff in there. Those are pretty basic fixes that for the most part don't make it to the final copy of the game. Every once in a while they do, but I'm seeing a few of those that are like very like, okay, that's a little bit weird. A big thing, man, I have a really big issue with this. It's a little bit hard to gauge right now, but it feels like there's a big issue with quarterback releases. Now, there's two things I'm going to talk about. One, throw out a sack picks seem way down. D-line picks seem way less. Knock on wood. But two, court releases, man, I don't know if there's... I felt a couple of times like I hit a button and there's like a delay from when I hit the button and when he like winds up. And on top of that, the wind-ups just seem really long. Now, I've been blessed. We've all been blessed the past 6 months on Ultimate Team to be rocking with Slinger 1 or Slinger 3 with Gunslinger and Passing Elite. Gunslinger obviously making that release go fast, and then Slinger 1 and Slinger 3 being the best, fastest releases. They changed up what releases I think are, like they changed up some of the releases, like Aaron Rodgers' release is not that, like, it's good, but it's not what it used to be, right, with Slinger 1. But just in general, like, it feels like the releases are a lot slower, and I would like to see him be faster. I've always been a guy who, just my personal preference is, when I hit a button of a receiver, I want to see that ball go to that receiver. And right now it's feeling like I'm hitting the button of that receiver, and he is like, let me pick this little sunflower. He's like a 6-year-old in left field of a Little League baseball game of not realizing, like, it takes him 6 seconds to realize a fly ball has just been hit to him in terms of reacting and throwing the ball. It's a little, but that could change. That could change from now to release, and it could just change when we get gunslinger, pass lead, elite quarterbacks, but you won't get that for a while. So, yeah, that's a little something right there. I'd really like to see that. I'd really like to see that kind of change. Another thing is I'm very concerned in regs that there won't be a hot route master. I think I talked about this the other day. But none of the abilities or ratings are finalized right now. But Tom Brady is the only quarterback for the past like 2 or 3 years that's had hot route master. There's not a new quarterback who's like even in the same conversation as Brady. So I'm like, are they not gonna have hot route master in regs? I really hope they do, and I hope they give it to like a quarterback who might not have a lot of other stuff. And the reason for that is that make another team kind of usable. A really good example of who I think should get it is Jared Goff, my Detroit Lions. And honestly, just for the sole fact that if you give it to a quarterback who's already getting like a velocity chem or a gunslinger or something, right, that makes him by far the best quarterback damn near. If you give it to a quarterback or a couple quarterbacks who don't have those things, that adds in another regs team that can be used, that has an argument to be used at a high level, right? You get what I'm saying? You know, kind of sprinkle around the joy, sprinkle it around. I don't know what they're going to do with that. I hope they don't. I hope they give it to somebody, though. If they don't have Howard Master and regs, I think that's a huge, huge, huge miss on their part. I'm a huge fan that they have really toned back Ags, it feels like. Or at least the Ags that we know them. I've seen a fefew Ags where I'm like, that was concerning, but they kind of felt fluky. And they've toned back Ags. It seems like at least the old way of Ag catching, where like the dude didn't animate underneath you, seems like they've made it a little bit better off initials. Again, we don't have Harold Carmichael or Donald Parham right now. Well, we have like 60 overall Donald Parham, but you get the idea to really test it. But you know, that's a initial kind of generalized idea or a thought that I have off the bat. But a big issue is, and this has been a legacy, this literally is a legacy issue, is one, DBs are just like double hand volleyball swatting some balls. And I'm like, would like to see that get picked off. Think about like a bubble screen, right? Going to throw that bubble, DB jumps underneath. Instead of snagging that bad boy for 6, he goes, spike. Or I guess, well, yeah, I guess that'd be a spike. Whatever, doesn't matter. But yeah, it's like, not loving that. Not loving that at all. Same with like tipped, kind of like tipped up passes. I actually saw a situation where the ball, like I threw a high ball or something, ball got tipped up, dude dropped it. Sam Hubbard comes in from rushing at the D tackle spot or DN spot, snags the ball. I'm like, all right. But yeah, kind of drop picks are kind of an issue right now from a competitive standpoint. I will say though, if you're more of just that, more of like an average kind of, you know, I don't want to say average, but like don't really care as much about being competitive gameplay wise, or like, you know, really trying to win games and stuff like that. I know in the past I felt like this same thing, and people have, on the opposite side of, you know, who don't take gameplay as seriously as me, have felt like there's too many interceptions. So there's a chance that one's just up for preference, maybe, I guess. I'm curious what you guys think, if you guys kind of feel the same way or not. You know, it depends. But to me, it's a little bit like, Again, I'm gonna reiterate, man. They've done a really cool job with playbooks. They've really added a lot of really cool stuff to playbooks. I've been a pretty big critic of the playbook guy for a while, and in the past, even when they've added stuff, I'm like, dude, this is just not practical to ever run in any situation, literally on the face of the earth, ever. And right now, I'm calling plays that are brand new to the game where I'm like, this is cool. Like, this is cool. Now, is it stuff that's gonna you know, wipe out, no one's gonna run bunch or trips anymore? Probably not. Like, those are the best formations typically, and they'll continue to be, I believe. There's so many factors that go into it that's meant for another video. But it is stuff where I can see myself making some off-meta schemes with it, right? I think they for example, they made gun deuce close way better this year, just in terms of formation and play calls that you can have. Like, whoa, like that's pretty sick. There's some cool plays in it. They've added in some unique plays for certain certain playbooks. They've done a lot of really good stuff that I'm super, super, super happy about. It's very exciting, I believe, on the offensive side of the ball. Defense, I don't think they really added anything on defense. That could be me missing it. Would like to see them find a way to add some new stuff. I think it'd be really weird if they added a bunch of offense and not much defense. Chance I missed it, but I have not noticed anything off the bat, off the rip with it. And then, they've changed a lot of that stuff, which is really cool to see. There does seem to be a little bit of an issue with halfbacks out of the backfield on ins and outs. They've always gotten kind of caught up in the offensive line of scrimmage, right? Because think about what an in route and an out route looks from the halfback. They go vertical, then they go bang or bang, right? And right now, it feels like they're really getting caught up in the O-line, which, again, has always been kind of an issue, but like right now it's like, where it's like ins and outs, they're just getting so caught up. They just don't run their route at all. I know a question I'm going to get a lot of is, how do Sheds feel? They feel totally how I feel like Sheds should. Never once have been like, oh, geez, this is not good enough or really too good. I'm actually pretty happy with it. Again, no abilities yet in the game, or like it's regs, first edition of the beta. Please don't, pitchfork and torch me when the game changes and the pass rush elite fearmonger goes crazy on you. Just tell me what I can work with right here, boys. I do want to address this, too. For anybody saying that the game is totally the same, it's copy and paste year after year, you just don't play the game, really. I'll be 100% honest with you. It's just the fact of the matter. I'm not an EA. I've had my very fair, I promise, if you've watched my content ever, been following me on Twitter ever, any of that stuff, I'm very vocal in my honest thoughts of the game. If I hated it, I would tell you guys that this is effing stupid. I'm genuinely very happy for what a beta can be right now. I think it's as good of a beta as I can really expect. The final thing I gotta mention, this is a big deal, and I'm very upset about this. Defense cannot effing adjust. If you try to baseline press, right, and you're kind of a above average player, you can do that very fast, right? Y over, Y down, very fast. You will not register the second adjustment. You need to go Y over, Y down. You need to intentionally pause between defensive adjustments. Now, I almost feel like this is intentional because offensive adjustments are also slower, and I'm like, okay, I am not a fan of that direction if that is intentional. Don't know if it is. Not a fan if it is. Let me just be very clear about that. I really, really dislike that. It feels like it's kind of went in that direction the past couple of years, and each year we just get used to it. Not a fan if that's the fact of the matter. Really not a fan. Final thing really fast is I get this question a lot. Last year, if you pressed a 30-yard cloud flat, he would not drop back 30 yards in time. And a lot of people, I actually don't really mind that a ton. A lot of people don't love that. In my opinion, as long as it's consistent, I don't necessarily hate it. I mean, if you're pressing a 30-yard flat and you expect him to drop back 30 yards, he's gonna take his time because it's a back pedal, right? Cloud flat's back pedal. So he just can't back pedal 30 yards while someone's at a dead sprint. And I also don't really want pressed cloud flats dropped to 30 yards, turning their hips and running. That's what they did in Madden 22 and 21. They would turn their hips and run back like a deep zone and then just sit. And I'm like, I didn't love that. So I'm honestly okay with that, but I know a lot of people kind of disagree with that, and that's totally cool. But just give you guys information on how that's playing right now in the game. But yeah, boys, that's kind of my initial thoughts. Let me know if you've played the beta, what you're thinking below in the comment section. Again, we have code beta going on until June 16th over on Civil.gg. Full year for just $80. It's less than $7 a month. All right, boys. Madden 22, we set the meta. Madden 23, we had gun tight. We had $1 on the site day one of Madden 23. Guess what was the meta in Madden 23? It was gun tight and $1. And we have a bunch of other stuff going on there. Awesome community. $80 code beta at checkout. Link is in the top of the description, boys. I want to see you in there for this upcoming year. And again, this sale ends June 16th. So take advantage of it. All right, boys. I'll see you in the next one.